Elizondo's book, Imminent, or portions of it, have leaked to the internet, or at least were released. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, when I first became aware that Imminent, or at least the first 4 chapters of it, had been released on the internet, I avoided it. I consciously chose not to read it for ethical reasons. I'm an author myself. I've had my books stolen and, put on pirate sites, and I'm very, conscious and sensitive to the idea of unauthorized releases. It also occurred to me that what if it had been put out for malicious reasons? What if the contents of the leaked portions of the book didn't reflect the actual book? What if it was disinformation? So I wanted to wait until the smoke had cleared a little bit, or the dust had cleared a little bit, before I read it. I wanted to figure out what I was reading before I read it. But it's all gone now. Apparently, it was taken down, so I waited too long. So if you want an in-depth examination of what has been available in those first 4 chapters, go check out UFO Jesus, Post-Disclosure World. I think Patrick Unvetted is doing a deep dive into it. Also, Thomas Fessler on Disclosure Tonight. But I'll go over a few things that have stuck out to me about what I've seen about the book. Oh, and the reason why it was put up remains unclear exactly what was going on there. It was put up by Google Books, I think, in Canada. And I think what happened was that they had made the preview available ahead of time. And, in my books, you can always read the first, 5 or 10% for free. There's a preview available. If you read Kindle books, you're probably familiar with the free preview. That's just normal. I think that's what it was. Somebody just made that free preview available ahead of time. Usually those free previews are not available until the book comes out. So I'm not quite sure what was going on there, if somebody just got their wires crossed or what exactly was going on. Either way, I don't think it was in any way malicious. I think it was just somebody getting their wires crossed. Either way, the free preview appears to have been taken down. But Post-Disclosure World posts this quote from Matthew Pines, who says, Lou Elizondo was a member of the U.S. Army Intelligence Support Activity, otherwise known as the Activity or the Gray Fox. This is a tiny elite of the elite special mission unit that goes into hostile/denied areas before even the Delta Force shows up. Lou is as legit as it effing gets. Lou is an elite soldier, or was an elite soldier, also involved in remote viewing programs. A lot of people I've been seeing online have been having trouble with this idea of remote viewing, and that Lou was involved in remote viewing, and they think somehow this invalidates his experiences or his information, whereas they just don't understand remote viewing and haven't done the research into that. Hey, totally get it. I used to be there too. I used to think remote viewing was pretty silly and pretty woo-woo, and until I did the research into remote viewing, and later on had experience with remote viewers personally, and realized that, this whole thing is legit. So I totally understand people's knee-jerk reactions to, to remote viewing. It's just outside of their worldview, their paradigm. It is really a paradigm-shifting event when you realize that remote viewing is real and these consciousness abilities are real. But it really goes against a lot of people's nuts and bolts paradigm of reality. Totally get it, guys. Totally understand. I can only encourage you to do the research. But once you do the research, you'll probably be glad you did, because it opens your mind to possibilities you didn't even know were possible. Studying remote viewing can actually be your gateway drug to a wider reality. Here's a quote from the book. That's when I started to learn about the U.S. government's secret history with UAP. At the dawn of the nuclear age, UAPs started appearing in greater numbers, and sometimes they crashed. Roswell was one of those incidents. A UAP fell that day in the vicinity of a government test facility in New Mexico and broke into 2 crash sites. Now, I've also heard Lou talk about how there were multiple craft involved in Roswell, and I've heard that from other sources as well, so I wonder if he gets into any of that in the book. But to continue with the quote, or the excerpt, At first, government investigators assumed that the Roswell craft were from another nation, possibly some sort of reconnaissance mission gone awry. But within hours, the U.S. Army realized the truth that these craft were not made by humans. It was hypothesized that the UAP that crashed at Roswell had been conducting some sort of reconnaissance on our budding atomic program when the unexpected happened. An electromagnetic pulse generated from one of the nearby test ranges had inadvertently intervened with the craft's technology and caused it to crash. And that's an idea that I've heard before. As Lou says, it's just a hypothesis. As far as I know, we don't really know what caused that craft or those craft to crash at Roswell. But I do think it's worth pointing out that the UFO cover-up already existed at Roswell. The men in black were in place at Roswell. They immediately moved to suppress all this information. They had a plan in place. They had people going out telling people, oh, we'll kill your dog and your grandma if you talk about this stuff. So yeah, the men in black were already in existence at the time of Roswell. I wonder if he gets into that. I don't know. But yeah, the UFO cover-up was already firmly in place at that time, at least according to my research. But let me know what you found in the comments below. Another quote posted by Joe Murgia. Over time, my colleagues and I gained insights into how these mysterious UAP operate and into the intentions of the non-human intelligence behind them. Eventually, I managed special access programs for the National Security Council and the White House. And here's another quote. Another UAP video to hit my inbox involved a Predator unmanned aerial vehicle drone conducting surveillance of a nuclear facility in a particularly hostile country when its camera picked up 3 luminous objects. Just 3 dots. Unexplainably, the dots began to fly in a regimented formation, a perfect triangle. As the dots approached the Predator, they became more distinguishable. They were not only flying, but were solid in structure. For 23 minutes, these craft tormented the Predator. They traversed 60 miles in the blink of an eye, traveling to the horizon only to dart back and shadow the Predator within a few hundred feet. If that were not amazing enough, the 3 craft would routinely reorient themselves, switching from a wedge formation to a linear formation. As they danced across the sky, they appeared to be toying with our Predator. See what we can do and you can't, was the message I felt in my gut. The craft seemed curious about the Predator, often coming in for closer inspection. Later, I would recall this when Navy fighter pilot Alex Dietrich described the 2004 Tic Tac as maneuvering in a playful manner. Playful? What a strange description. That was precisely my own impression as I watched this video. And here's the table of contents for Lou's book. The introduction, which is by Chris Mellon. Chapter 1, Damned If I Do, Damned If I Don't. Chapter 2 is all about Colares. I can't wait to see Lou's inside information about the Colares incident, one of the most fascinating UFO incidents of all time. It was also one of the most disturbing. People lost their lives because of this incident. And the cover-up, again, was firmly in place with that. Although, interestingly, some of the classified military investigation results were actually declassified and released to the people. So, maybe other countries outside of the U.S. aren't as tight with the information. That's encouraging, if nothing else. Other items in the table of contents that look really interesting, of course, the Tic Tac, the Roosevelt incident, with Ryan Graves and those guys. Interestingly, he goes into a discussion of angels or demons. That's interesting. And all of this would have been outside of the free preview. Only the first 4 chapters had been made available for the free preview. Damned If I Do, Damned If I Don't, Colares, A Reluctant Warrior, and The Secrets Within. I wish I had gotten the jump on reading some of this, guys. But if you dived into any of this, let me know your impressions of that free sample. Oh, and here's another quote. These craft are not made by humans. UAP and the non-human intelligence controlling them present at best a very serious national security issue, and at worst, the possibility of an existential threat to humanity. I hope he doesn't lean too much into the threat idea behind UFOs and UAP. Now, we do need to be, vigilant. And obviously, forewarned is forearmed. But at the same time, a lot of these events have a consciousness component, and we seem to be co-creating a lot of this stuff. So if negative ideas are put in the public consciousness, it's more likely that people are going to have negative events. So it's probably not healthy in that respect to lean on the idea of, fearful encounters. That said, I don't think the people of Colares were co-creating those events. And in that case, if people had known what was going on and had the technology to do something about it, maybe they could have done something about it. So yeah, forewarned is forearmed, but, with that, nuance that it's probably not healthy, in my mind, to lean too much on the threat narrative. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further into that. Other channels have done deep dives into this, and I'll let them take the lead on this. But what I'm seeing so far makes me really excited about the contents of the book when it gets released next month. And, I've already pre-ordered my copy, and I will be very eager to see what Lou Elizondo has to tell us. I'm intrigued by the redactions. Apparently in the release portions of it, Lou Elizondo included the redactions. Dobster went through it and they censored stuff. And apparently you can see the blacked out parts that they censored. That'll be hilarious if that actually gets included. So you can actually see the censorship of the UFO cover up at work in the book itself. That'd be awesome. But anyway, let me know what you think about it all. And if you've had a chance to read the chapters, let me know what your take on it all is in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Discord links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, you can buy a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.